The Castle Museum in Marietta will be offering tours this summer at the historic Mound Cemetery. Museum Executive Director Scott Britton decided to start these tours to share the stories of those who are buried there with visitors. Mr. Britton joins us now in our studio. Thanks for being here this evening.
Thanks a lot for having me.
So tell me a little bit first, what is Mound Cemetery and why is it so important to Marietta?
Well, really it's a great cemetery that encapsulates the entire history of not only Marietta but the entire state of Ohio, with the ancient Adena mounds dating back over 2,000 years ago, the early settlers, the pioneers of Marietta and the Northwest Territory up through the Civil War, and we still have modern day burials there today.
And you mentioned the Civil War, that you brought an artifact with you today, and it relates a little bit to the Civil War.
Sure, it not only relates to the Civil War but to the castle itself. The castle was built originally in 1855 by Colonel Melvin Clark, a lawyer there in Marietta. And he is one of the stops on the tour there in Mound Cemetery. And I brought a shell, a 10-pound Parrott rifled shell from an artillery round that he was killed very similar by a 10-pound shell at the Battle of Antietam in 1862 in Maryland. And
this tour is one of the first of its kind. What are some of the highlights of the tour?
Yeah, we go through a lot of the early settlers, Rufus Putnam, folks here in Marietta and Athens. Certainly know him as one of the first trustees of Ohio University. Ebenezer Sproat, who was the first sheriff of Washington County, that really encapsulated most of Ohio at the time, and was the guy that they nicknamed the state of Ohio. They called him the Big Buckeye, and a lot of historians credit the nickname to Ebenezer Sproat.
And why are people so interested in a tour like this? Do you expect a pretty big turnout?
We do. We've had a couple different groups that have done tours in the past. Always had big turnouts from the local folks, and we're hoping to include visitors that come to Marietta on a weekly basis.
And you know, there's lots of Ohio river towns with history, but Marietta seems to be a little bit special.
It is. Yeah, Rufus Putnam and the original 48 settlers, that's where Ohio and the whole Northwest Territory was founded. And so it's a shame that most people in Ohio don't know more about Marietta and the origins of the entire state.
And Mound Cemetery, where the tour will be, also includes the Castle Museum. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what will be seen there?
Sure.
On the tour?
Sure. They can actually get a discount if they do the cemetery tour and the Castle Historical House Museum tour. It's $5 for the cemetery tour, $10 if you get the combined two tours, so you get a little bit of a discount there. And not only the Mound tour, but you get to see an 1855 Victorian house in all its splendor.
And when will the tours be given?
It starts in earnest on June the 2nd. It's going to be at 10 o'clock each Saturday morning throughout the summer, going through August, the end of August. And folks just show up there at 10 o'clock and we take the money and start on the tour.
Sounds like a great opportunity to learn some history.
Absolutely.
Mr. Britton, thanks so much for stopping by tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.